Hello internet, my name is Callie. This is my 10th time recording this voiceover, and this is also my 3rd time saying that this is my 10th time recording this voiceover. So yeah, hopefully it goes smoothly this time. That's the 13th time I've said that as well, or well, 12th time that I've said that. Because it's the 4th of July. As I'm recording this, it's the evening of the 4th of July, and while I have nothing better to do but sit and speak to a computer in my dorm room, there are people outside lighting things on fire and being busy with that. So I can't blame them, but yeah, so if you hear small explosions outside, that is why. I also, like I mentioned in passing, live in a dorm room, so there are often youths walking by my door doing things loudly. So, my apologies for that. Regardless, it has been a minute. I should get into this video. So, hi, I'm Callie. I realize that I have not touched my YouTube channel in a very long time. My last video is from like 11 months ago, and that is simply because I forgot about it. I totally forgot that I had a YouTube channel. I recorded that video right before I was about to start my first semester of college, like real college, and once I got here, I had planned on, making more videos on the weekends, but life just got in the way. And it's really interesting because I go to art school, and I got into art school because of my merits as a painter and an illustrator, and now that I'm here, I do none of that. I don't do any fine art at all, which is nothing to say about the school itself. It is simply because I am not a fine arts major, and my major has nothing to do with painting or any of that. So yeah, I haven't painted at all, and therefore I am really, really rusty, and I am very out of practice. So I decided to sit down and film this painting kind of to document the journey and not necessarily the final product. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is when the sum of the parts don't equal the whole. And what I mean by that is that I like close-up parts of this painting, but stepping away from it, I don't think that it was successful. And I am trying to, instead of being depreciative, I'm trying to be introspective about that and kind of just reflect on why these things didn't work, what did and what didn't work, and how in the future I can progress and recognize what the struggles are and deal with them. So a big problem that I had was the supplies, and I know that that's kind of a cop-out, I realize that, but these are old paints. Again, I haven't painted in a long time, and when I used to paint, mostly I painted in class at high school, so I used to take a 3-hour-long art class every day. I had access to all sorts of like fancy supplies and materials and whatever, and so I never really bothered to purchase my own, and so the only acrylic paints I had on hand were cheap. Like, you can see it's like Apple Barrel brand. And then the brushes are nicer. But the paint itself, the medium, was dry, a little crumbly. It didn't want to mix well with, it dried really fast. And that was partially just to do with it being acrylic, but also, because they're old. So I was already struggling with my skills, but the materials were not helping me. They weren't doing me any favors. Another thing that I realized was a mistake is that I went to Home Depot and I bought an MDF board, which is just like a particle board, I think. It's wood. This one was 2x2, and it was unfinished, and I didn't sand it or treat it really. I just covered it with a few layers of white acrylic paint for the base, but the texture wasn't my friend in this instance. So I was trying to paint skin, and it didn't work. It kind of left the skin looking patchy, and I feel like this is a self-portrait, by the way. so I feel like I look like I have eczema on my face. The materials were working against me instead of with me. And you don't need to buy super expensive art supplies. You just need to get, you know, decent, maybe not bottom shelf, if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for blendability and whatever, there's different mediums that are good for that. But something that did do me some favors was that this was a photo transfer drawing. So this is also something that I used to do a lot when I was in school. I would take a photograph that either I took or a friend of mine took and then blow it up to the size of the canvas and then either trace it from a projector or do a charcoal transfer drawing. So this was a, so I used chalk pastel instead of charcoal, and I blew the image up on a plotter, which is just a big printer, to be the size of the board. And then I went over it with a pencil to get kind of just general proportions, locations of things down. And that is a really comfortable place for me to be in. A lot of what I used to do was just taking a picture and painting the picture, and it's a really good exercise that I recommend to anybody who's maybe struggling with painting or maybe just trying to hone your skills and not necessarily your creativity, because, you know, then you can move on to making something that's amazing and like all from your head, but then have the skills to back you up. So it's just a good exercise. The parts of this I like. When you get close up on the face, I really like it. I show a lot of the clips at the end in which I'm panning around the video or on the painting. It's mostly just me selectively showing you things, and I kind of was planning on hiding that and kind of denying, like, oh, these are just, you know, these are the important parts of the painting, like, don't look at the rest of it. But I realize now, it's been a couple days since I painted this, when I'm sitting down to record this, I realize that it's not about the whole painting looking good. It's about sitting down. It took me about 7 hours. It's about sitting down for 7 hours and painting and just practicing. Yeah, so this is the kind of the only shot of the full painting. I didn't step back and look at it very much, and I think that is a big reason why it is a failure in my eyes. But I just am trying to recognize what went wrong and to learn from it and to move on. I realize, and y'all should realize, that like, you are your harshest critic. People that I've shown this to say like, yeah, that looks just like you, and you look great, and it's a great painting, and whatever, like, shut up, it looks good. But I am trying to look at this objectively, and I think that, like, no, some parts look weird. Like, the face proportions look weird, the hair could have some things done with it, there's like strange bumps on the board, there's texture, which is sometimes a good thing with acrylic, but not this time. Just learn from your mistakes. It's all about the journey, it's about self-improvement, it's about, you know, I didn't really intend to be like a motivational speaker, like, you're the best, and, you know, it's all about the journey, and it's about making yourself and whatever, but it is. Like, I don't mean it to be cheesy, but it is. It's not about the whole sometimes. Sometimes it is. Sometimes when you're putting a piece in a gallery, or you're trying to sell something or commission something, you're not going to have people that go up and, or, you know, it's not going to be like you, only you, like, looking at the parts that you like and other parts. In that case, you know, it's good to have a finished whole, but when you're practicing, and I largely consider this a practice piece, it's good to make something and then point out what is good and what is bad. And it's never all bad. I could look at this and I could say, I hate it. I just hate it. The whole thing, I hate it. Or I could look at it and I could say, okay, the mouth is really well done, and the eyes look good, and the nose looks good, and the background looks really nice, and the tattoo looks good. But, you know, the hair looks weird, and the, you know, skin's a little weird, and that hand kind of looks like, it feels like that guy from the Goonies, or like I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis on my hand. I digress. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about that, other than it's life. It's kind of a good metaphor for life. Just, you know, your life isn't going to be perfect. Your whole life isn't going to be, you're going to make mistakes and whatever, and you just kind of have to, you can do a million bad things and make a million mistakes and then do one thing right. And then at the end of it, you kind of can't say like, okay, I made a million mistakes, but this is the thing that I did right, and I should continue to do that and then to hold on to that as like a flotation device while I am working on these mistakes. I'm rambling again. I should go. It's late. Yeah, have a great day. Good night. Leave a comment down below. I want to meet you guys. If there's any of my subscribers left, any of the 1,000 that decided to stick around. But yeah, have a good night. I'm gonna go outside and watch some fireworks, maybe? You know, like this video, if you liked it, do all the whole YouTube spiel. I'm sure you guys are familiar. And have a good day. Goodbye.